Art the Clown's origin, the most speculated about aspect of the Terrifier franchise. Is he human? Is he a demon? Let's get into it. Like I said, a lot of the speculation around these movies kind of revolve around Art the Clown's origins, how he came to be, why he's mystical, what are his abilities, and kind of how the Pale Girl relates to him, as well as the Shaws. So a lot of people kind of cling to the theory that Art the Clown is probably Sienna's dad somehow, that died and came back as Art the Clown, but besides that being a little bit too obvious, I just don't think it works, and I think that there's a better theory. And I think it's more than that, because you also have to take into consideration that there's the little pale girl who was clearly human at one point. So what do we know about her? What do we know about him? I mean, we really don't know about either of them. We don't even know if Art is still a person or if he used to be. But the thing though is that the little pale girl is a little bit more fantastical, a little bit more mystical. Only certain people can see her. Only Sienna and her brother can see her. But, you know, contrastly to Art, everyone can see him. He's definitely a physical being that everybody can see. There's no doubt about it. He is a person, regardless of how many times he gets shot, killed, butchered, it doesn't matter. But he is actually there, and everyone around him knows that he's there and can see him. And why I bring this up is because I think that really plays into the dynamic between them and why it exists. And with that, what I think happened is it's clear that the pale girl was a little girl named Emily that went missing at the Terrifier. What I think this could be is that Art is the little pale girl's father, who he may have sacrificed to Satan to fulfill some kind of prophecy for everlasting life. And I know that sounds a little bit insane, but I think that there's more to it than that. So what we know about Sienna and her father and everything is that he got sick, he got a tumor in his head, he started to get more abusive, have these visions of Terrifier, Art, Satan, all of that stuff. And what I think is that he was originally supposed to be Art, and Sienna was originally supposed to be the little pale girl in that situation. My theory is that this demon or Satan or whatever tries to maybe tempt people that are sick, people that have cancer or dying, promise them everlasting life, kind of going back into the more biblical themes that are definitely present, especially in the second movie. And I think that maybe Sienna's dad was tempted with this promise of everlasting life, and then as soon as he started to get more vile, more sick, more abusive, he realized the monster that he was becoming because he was getting turned into this thing that isn't him. So to stop himself, he killed himself. And if this was the case, I think this would be a good compelling reason as to why this demon still kind of has it in for Sienna, because she's a loose end. She was supposed to be the original sacrifice, but now that this prophecy's been fulfilled by somebody else that Satan or the devil was able to manipulate, now we can kind of crack this whole thing open. It would explain a lot of things, like why Art wanted to lure Sienna back to the Terrifier where Emily was sacrificed, because maybe there's some kind of other prophecy that could be fulfilled in that way. Maybe she could still be turned into some kind of demon or disciple or pale girl. But it's clear that Art and the little pale girl both used to be humans in real life. Clear that Sienna has some kind of connection, especially Sienna. This is my main speculation though, is that her father was the original supposed to be Art, but he stopped himself from getting infected by this demonic presence by taking his own life, sparing Sienna of becoming the little pale girl and being sacrificed. And I think that it always has to happen at the Terrifier, at the abandoned amusement park for some reason. Not exactly sure yet why, but you know, there's a deliberate reason. There's a reason that the movies are called Terrifier, and that was Art's specific choice of place to take back Jonathan and then lure Sienna. So, you know, I don't think anything was not done on purpose. If I had to guess, this would be why. And where this whole Satan thing is coming from is that from Damien Leone himself, he said it wasn't just going to be this evil force or whatever brought him back. I wanted it to be a character. So initially this character was always going to be a creepy little pale girl to represent this demon, perhaps even Satan itself. We'll explore this later. And what that tells me is that this demon uses the little pale girl, Emily, kind of almost like a vessel for him to do his own nefarious deeds. So he's just kind of mimicking her presence, face, you know, using that to bring Art back, manipulate him, and that just leaves Art to just be this tool of destruction. And since Sienna's father stopped that cycle and that ritual, Sienna was able to get away, live a normal life, relatively, just become a normal person, but there's still those ties there. The demon still probably wants her because she is a loose end. So I don't know if I'm right. I don't know if I'm going to be right. I guess we'll find out when the next Terrifier movies come out. Let me know what you guys think of my theory. Have a good one.